Hello, my name is Abraham Klein, and this is Yinzer Club. Hello, Yinzers. My name is Abraham Klein, and today I am here. My guest at this time is Casey Newell, and she is with the Indiana Women's Flag Football League. And so we're just going to sort of get to know them today and find out a little bit about the latest going on with them. So, Casey, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Looks like you got a little helper there to help you with the interview today.
Yeah, she didn't cooperate with my plan to have her take a nap, so.
Okay. Yeah, well, I guess that happens with babies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, for those people who may not be familiar, what is the Indiana Women's Flag Football League?
We are an adult women's football league, and we also have a youth program that we started last year. So mostly we're a 21 and up beer league, and we have a big season in the summer in Indiana, and also we do bowls. So those are like once every off season.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a spring and a winter and a fall bowl, and it's just it's a great league of women. We've been in existence since 2015.
Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead. Okay. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the history. You mentioned it being starting about 5 years ago. How did it all sort of come to be?
Julie Sadler, who passed away in November of last year, she was the main force behind it, and she and I worked together to build it up. It was just an idea that we had when we were having a play date with our sons. There's just not a lot of things for adult women to do in the area, and we thought it would be fun to do something like roller derby, but we figured people would be injured, and we also did roller rinks, so that really
Yeah, right.
squashed our roller derby plans. So we decided to start a flag football league. We thought it would be kind of an inexpensive way to get people together, and we put together some teams just of our friends and their friends, begging people to join. And we started with 4 teams and about 30 women, and now we would have been starting our 5th season, or our 6th season, and we would have had 130 women, almost 140.
Oh, wow.
Teams.
Wow. Yeah. So it's definitely grown a lot in 5 years for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm actually now intrigued that you mentioned that you guys originally possibly had the idea of a roller derby league. Like, what were sort of the ideas behind like how that was going to work out?
We just wanted to get together, meet people that were kind of fun-loving women that were not afraid to get out there and break some things and
right.
Go drink beers afterwards. And it was really a social league. Julie, it was not from here. She's Canadian and Michigan, so we didn't know a lot of people in town. And and when you're a stay-at-home mom, also it's difficult to meet people that are your own children or other people's children. So it was our way to expand out and meet a lot of different women, and that's kind of what it became. It's a huge social league at this point.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
yeah. So sort of tell me a little bit about what were the first 4 teams, and what's the current crop, I guess you could say, of teams that you guys currently have right now?
Yeah, we started with the Cherry Bombs, which is my team, and the Blue Ballers, the Pink Ladies, and we had the original green team name was the Hulkettes.
Hulkettes, okay.
Yeah, Hulkettes. Everyone was allowed to name themselves. Like the teams they made their own shirts. At that point, we were just kind of a pickup league. We didn't measure the field. We walked it out. So is generally really crooked because Julie's like a foot taller than me, so her side is on my side.
Yeah, right.
Nobody really cared.
Yeah.
Wasn't super serious. And from there, then we added 2 more teams. We added the Monarch Mavens and the Black Widows in 2016, and that's when we started with like getting insurance and sponsors and really expanding, what our league was at that point.
Okay, so yeah, it was almost pretty much just thrown together at the beginning, and now because I've been there, you guys had me doing refereeing last year. Somehow, yeah, I got pulled into that, right? But what's that?
Everyone does.
Yeah, right. But yeah, but yeah, it's gone from the way you described it originally to now. I mean, you walk onto the field and there's just so much organization now. It's pretty impressive, actually.
It's been slow growing. We didn't start there. We never. This is the first year that this last year we painted the fields.
Mm-hmm.
But we always had 2 fields, and then once we expanded to 6 teams, we had 3 fields, and that was pretty much standard for a long time. And then just in 2019, we were able to go to 5 fields.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's pretty cool.
And teams.
Yeah. So, Casey, you've obviously been involved with it since the beginning. What's your background as far as athletics? Is this something that you've sort of aspired to, or is this sort of just something that just came about? Or tell us about your history and the whole thing.
I got roped into it. I'm not a sports person.
Oh, okay.
I'm an art nerd, and through Julie's, she's very persistent, and so we started that way. And this is the first cleats I've ever owned.
Oh wow!
Once I bought for this league, and now I love it. Obviously it's super fun. I think pretty much anybody can get the handle of flag football. You can make it as complicated or as simple as you want it to be.
Right.
And, yeah, so that's how I got involved. Just Julie and I wanted to link together, and it's something fun to do. And then it became popular, and we decided to expand it and work on building it up and build our little empire here in Indiana.
Yeah. Speaking of the empire, did you guys have any ambitions or feelings as though it was going to become as big as it has become?
We always had big plans. We had lots of 5-10 year plans for what we wanted to do. One of those things was expanding, getting sponsors, and we've always wanted to run tournaments here. That was something that we put out as a future goal, is to run some sort of national tournament here. We've done the bowls, which are like mini tournaments, and that's just local stuff. So that's fulfilled some of those desires to have new teams, and we just make our own new teams with the current players.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, I was involved with the league last year, and the league definitely has a variety as far as different types of ladies that come to be a part of the league. For those who may be unfamiliar, talk a little about the ladies that are a part of the league and what they're like. I guess you could say at games and stuff like that.
I mean, honestly, we have such a variety of women that play. I think that's the funnest part of it, is that there's so many different women that play, and they're all different backgrounds and political sensibilities and athletic ability, and we all just come together and play. Mm-hmm. Now, over the years, some of the teams have become more athletic, and some of the teams have become less athletic.
Okay.
Because you want to play with your friends, and because our league is a beer league, we don't do drafting. We don't draft based on ability, or you just play with who you want to play with, and you play with your friends, and you can stick with your team, and you can come and play and jump for every ball and dive if you want, or you can just come and play some games and have some beers and keep it pretty simple. So we have people from, I think our youngest is probably 23. You have to be 21 to be in the league,
Mm-hmm.
but the average age is around 35.
Around 35. Okay.
We have some 50-year-olds in the league as well. So that's our range. And so this season, we were intending on doing a divisions. So that was something that was going to be a huge change for this next year. Because
Okay.
some teams that just kick everyone's butts, and
Right.
and after a few seasons of losing to the same teams, sometimes you get a little sick of it.
Yeah, I can hear that. So, again, going back to the players themselves, I remember during last year's season, seeing the passion, I guess you could say, of the players was really something to behold, especially especially when the weather did not always cooperate.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, you remember that one game where, I mean, it just absolutely poured like crazy. I'm out there completely soaking wet thinking, can we just end this? And they're just like, no, we want to play. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the one thing a week that we look forward to. So to cut it short seems just sacrilegious. So you have to honor that time. And this last year I think we had like one rain game, and the year before that, it was like beautiful weather. We didn't have any rainouts, but the previous years, most of the footballers would agree that like every Thursday predicted rain, and we had almost every Thursday, and we just played through it. As long as it wasn't actively lightning on the field, and we can all just vote whether we want to keep going or not,
Yeah. But yeah, I remember after that game, and I was soaked. I was like, my goodness, these women will play through anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fun. It really levels out the playing field, because you can't catch a ball if it's wet, whether you're good at football or not. So
Right.
It evens out the competition, I think.
Yeah. So sort of go through the seasons. I know you mentioned about the tournaments and things like that. Sort of describe an average season, how it would go if we were not in the certain situation we are currently in.
Yeah, if it was not a global pandemic right now, we would.
Yes.
Next week we would start our where we do shirts, waivers, and beers at Levity Brewing Company, and their sponsor. And that's our annual event there, where everyone shows up and picks up their shirts and signs their insurance waivers. And we just have made it into a social event. It's where we all come back together, and you meet your new players and reconnect with your team. So that's what we'd be doing next week. And the week after that, we would have a scrimmage. And that's just like getting your, dusting off your cleats and getting back on the field and getting used to playing again, or learning how to play if you're brand new. And then we have a 11-week season and a championship game. So this year we were going to have there were going to be 6 games at a night. And we had plans for a big championship day where we had a food truck, and there was going to be, Nobelstein was going to be there for a beer tent, and we had a DJ lined up and a big old tent. Yeah.
Well, a pretty big deal going.
We had it all worked out. So that's probably the most disappointing thing is our plans for that day was it was going to be fun. We were going to do all of our championships back to back. So now,
as far as the championship is concerned, you have 2 championships, right? You have the Dead Tree Bowl, and then you have the I forget the other name actually now.
Golden Tree Cup.
Golden Tree Cup, yeah.
That's they're all based on Indiana being the Christmas tree capital.
Right. Yeah, and sort of explain the difference between the Dead Tree Bowl and the Golden Tree Cup.
Yeah, those are our standard ones. We have 2 new ones, which I'll talk about in a second. But Dead Tree Bowl, those are the dead last losers. They play for that, and if you lose, you get a dead tree. We have a dead tree. This is technically our 3rd actual tree. It's survived. It's hard to keep a dead tree surviving.
It's true.
Over the years, but yeah. our dead tree, and we write the names in Sharpie on the pot, and just that's So if you're the loseriest loser, then you get the dead tree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Way to rub it in right at the end, right?
You also get air fresheners, tree air
fresheners. Okay. Well,
you stink.
Yeah. I guess it's not all bad then, right?
No. You get an award.
Yeah, that's true.
So some teams like to win the dead tree because at least they won something. But
right. Yeah.
It's not supposed to be a prize. And then the Golden Tree Cup is the winners. And so they've Cherry Bombs won the first year, and then we got Black Widows won 2016, and the Blue Ballers won 2 years in a row, and then the Fighting Gingers won last year.
Okay.
The Fighting Gingers were actually half of the Blue Ballers. We after so many years of domination, the Blue Ballers, we asked if they could separate out, so when we split into 10 teams, we could have a team that was half as good. But it turned out they're both really good, and then they just
yeah. So yeah, you mentioned you have 2 other championships as well.
Yep. So last year because we had 10 teams, we allowed for a middle championship, so that it was a silver sapling cup.
Okay.
So if you were the winners of the losers bracket.
Mm-hmm.
So the Black Widows won that last year against the Sirens, which was my team.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, that was a tight game.
Yeah.
And so this next season, we were with the divisions, we had separated out and have a Platinum Tree Cup, and that was for our hardcore division, which was going to be the Blue Ballers. The Fighting Gingers were separated out from everybody else, and we made 2 new teams, the Crimson Cougars and the Gold Rushers.
Okay.
And those teams were formed from the best players from the other teams.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I mean, as I follow you guys throughout the year, there's obviously something going on with the league, whether they're having football or not. So talk about maybe some of the other things that are happening, I guess you could say post and pre-season, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we have always made it our goal to do something every month. So that was something that we started back in 2015 after the season was over. We started doing other things, so going bowling or doing Pictionary or trivia night. So we've always done off-season events every month. And then this last year, we decided to make more of those off-season events actually football related. So then we could play football and then go out for drinks afterwards. So
okay.
The bowls. So the first one was the Snow Bowl, and then that's we usually do that the day before the Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys have the Snow Bowl, the Turkey Bowl, the Mud Bowl. Am I forgetting any? Are there any more?
We did America Bowl.
America Bowl?
Yeah, we did that. It was a pickup kind of bowl. We did that on 4th of July in the morning, and that we just had 4 teams. They showed up and we picked teams and played. So
yeah, and I do remember up until everything sort of happened with pandemic and things like that, you guys were sort of doing pickup games at the Essence Bank Arena. So tell us about that.
We were doing pickup at S&T. We had done pickup in the fall before, and we won an opportunity to go inside and play some games. So we had about 5 weeks of that. The other thing I haven't talked about is travel. We have a travel team.
Oh, okay.
That's something we had for a couple of years, and then we ended up disbanding it after Julie passed. It was really her baby, so we shut that down and then restarted it with some tryouts this last year. So they were actually going to tournament in March, and that also got with everything going on. So
wow, yeah. Speaking of Julie, obviously, you mentioned this was sort of a idea between you and Julie Sadler. Since her passing, has it affected the league a lot? Because obviously she was a very big part of the league.
Yeah, I mean, she was the queen of the league. And most people that joined the league were joined because she hassled them to death or things. In a
Yeah,
very way. Uh, I would say the league has changed in that I think we feel a little more emotionally bonded to each other because when she was sick, a lot of us, came together and helped out her family. Just really, we understood the value of the friendships that we had built and that she was able to, give us because she was so adamant that this league grow and expand. And
yeah,
just, I think that if anything, we've gotten closer together just as people through everything.
yeah. For those who may not know Julie, what was how would you describe her? What was she like?
Oh, Julie, she's tall, loud. She's um, the one of the nicest people that you'll ever meet. She's friends with everybody. Everybody loves Julie, honestly. Um, I mean, you knew Julie.
Hmm.
She was just very enthusiastic about life and about everything. She just was like the biggest cheerleader for all the women in the league, and made everyone feel like they could play football even if they've never done it. So that's something that we've tried to continue. That anyone can play. With the divisions, we've separated things out a bit, but we want to keep the core as anyone can play. If you can get a spot, you can play, and that's where we are now. If you can get a spot,
Yeah, yeah,
because we can fill
and
up.
yeah, and like you said, Julie truly was uh, really great lady, and I'm sure she's definitely missed by everybody in the league for sure. I think we're losing connection. Are you back?
There,
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're good. So moving on to this year. Well, baby's being handed off.
there we go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So moving on to this year, tell us a little bit about what I guess is going on with this year as far as season is concerned and
Yeah.
possibilities.
I mean, I think like every other organization, we're in a kind of a waiting game to see when we'll be in what phase. But honestly, we have 130 women that get together on the same night. Um, so technically, that puts us into a mass gathering.
It's a little bit more than 10.
Yeah, it's more than 10, and it's more than 24, even if we get into yellow phase. So
Yeah. Right.
that's kind of where we're at, and we'd like to play some football of some kind, and we can talk about getting creative if we open and get into yellow phase. But right now, we're kicking around ideas, but we had to cancel everything in May because we don't think we'll be ready. We'll be open to play. Um, I mean, realistically, I don't know that it's going to happen. I
Mm.
maintain hope, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really look like that. So, we're open to playing it at a different time. We can play in the fall, but I don't know what's going to happen in the fall. I mean, we're all in the same boat. We don't know what's going to happen with this virus, and we want to make sure that everyone's safe. And we're going to follow all the rules, and we're not going to put anyone. We don't want to put anyone at risk. We've got a lot of nurses and EMTs and healthcare workers, and we've got a lot of those women in the league. So we want to make sure that we're keeping everyone safe and healthy.
Yeah. What's been the reaction from a lot of the players regarding all of this? I'm sure. I mean, obviously, like I said, they were very much chomping at the bit to go, even when it was pouring, raining. I can imagine they're pretty restless now.
Everybody's pretty sad about it. I mean, we just made a video and I posted it a couple days ago that we all put together throwing a ball around. And I think that was really motivating to some women to do that. And it makes us feel like we're playing with each other, or at least that we're still involved in the league. But realistically, everyone's really upset about it. When I did a whole before things looked like we were going to be shut down for a lot longer. Nobody wanted to cancel the season. No one wanted to shorten the games. No one wanted to have less games. So we were just trying to figure out how to squeeze in all 12 games. But I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. But if it looks like we can play at some point this year, we're going to try to play. So
yeah. Well, we definitely want to try to stay hopeful through all this. That's about the best thing we can do right now, right? So I guess one more thing to talk about would be the youth league, because I know you guys mentioned that you guys have started a youth league. Hopefully by the time that comes around, because I believe you guys do it in the fall, right? Yeah. What's just sort of a quick rundown of the youth league?
Yeah, it was Julie's something that she really wanted to do, and that was one of our many 5-year plans. So we finally made it happen. In 2018 is when our first youth league was. So we had 4 teams, and they were from ages 6 to 12. So that's a pretty big gap age range. We tried to balance out, ages on teams, but it was a bit tough. I think on some of the littler players, and then some of the older players that felt like they were taking out little girls when they were trying to pull their flag.
Right.
Not necessarily most safe. So then this in 2019 we did a league inside at S&T Arena. We've been working with Rec quite a bit, using their turf, and they've been helping us out, kind of allowing us to offer more programming, because we're all volunteer based. So once we get into like the busier times of year, it's difficult for us all to come together and organize a big league. So it's nice to have that partner. And they were offering a spring class for us. And so we volunteered, but they kind of ran it and organized it and ran all the registrations in the spring. And in the fall, we run the whole league. So we have 4 teams, and then we have a little girls program. So it's 5 to 7 for those little girls. But
nice.
we run it like our league, minus the beer. We run it the same.
Yeah, I think you'd have a problem if you did that with the youth league.
We have pizza party at the end of the year, and that's what we're doing now. So pizza good, beer bad. But
right.
We have all of the coaches are players from our league. So and they do that, free of charge. Everybody's volunteering because we just love seeing the league grow and seeing the little girls play. It's so fun. They get very into it, and we run it like a mini version of our own season. So they do some practicing, they play each other, and then there's a little championship. So
nice.
Everybody gets into it. The coaches get really into it as well. It's fun to see them to grow into write up their own plays and run their own teams. That's like the most exciting and rewarding part, is when the coaches can stand back and let the players do what they want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Casey, it's been great having you on. I know we've done plenty of these interviews through Yinzer magazine over the past few years. Definitely appreciate you coming on again to do this for the podcast. I guess in closing, if people would like to learn more about what you guys do, I know you guys are on Facebook and places like that. What's the best way they can learn, or if they'd like to join, how can they do that?
Facebook and Instagram those are our social media platforms that we use, and we also have a website, IndianaWomen's.com, IndianaWomen'sFlagFootball.com.
Okay.
And that's where you can learn about signing up and learn about the bowls. Now the bowls are open to anybody, so you don't have to be a regular season player to register and play in the bowl. You do have to be a woman over the age of 21, and that's about it. You don't have to know anything else.
Okay.
Figure it out.
Nice. Good way to look at it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on. Always appreciate talking to you guys and talking about the league. But folks, if you like this video, please like share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all of the different social media, and Yins, have a great day. All right, well, that's our program. We hope that you enjoyed that interview with Casey Newell from the Indiana Women's Flag Football League. We hope that you'll go and check out all their different places, such as www.indianawomensflagfootball.com, as well as check them out on Facebook. I know they do a lot on there. Also, don't forget to check out all the other programs here on Idiot Radio. We got the Triple B and Double D's Heavyweight Podcast. We got the Todd DeFazio Show, the Triple B Experience, the Beard on Food. That sounds like an interesting show, right? Syndicated from my ham radio. Also coming soon, we got a sports show, a tattoo show, the Best of the Double D Show, and the Best of the Village Idiot Show. So lots of content here on Idiot Radio, and also you got the Yinzer Club podcast as well. While we're talking about Idiot Radio, but be sure to go on the Idiot Radio store, find stuff like the Ian's Have a Great Day shirt and hat and polo shirt as well, and go to yinzerclub.com and check out all the great merch that we have available there. Again, this has been Abraham Klein. Hoping you enjoyed this program. Join us again next time, and Yins, have a great day.